All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to the show. I'm your man, KTJ, and we are back in the house. Glad to be here, y'all. Glad to have the show rolling today. We're back. We took a little break from doing the show, but we are live here. So, welcome to Love Coach Sessions Live. I'm your man, KTJ, dating and relationship coach, known as the Love Coach of Atlanta, but I serve the world. And I brought my girl in the Fab Kara. Kara and I worked all the way through the pandemic together, kept each other from going nuts on Clubhouse, and we have maintained contact ever since. So, what's up, Kara?
Hey there, hey there. It's wonderful to be here with you tonight.
Yes, 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 yes. So, you guys, if you if you never met Kara, get the frogs out of the throat. If you never met Kara, she's awesome. Kara, you tell the people who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, I am the absolutely fabulous, anointed, and charismatic Kara, the Fab Kara, and I'm a woman on a mission to help couples be wildly attracted for life because just being married, just being together, just living together is not good enough. And so, one of the things I do is I tell women the truth about men and relationships, and I do it in a way so that we can focus on loving him, love you, love your life, and love him. So those are the steps, those are the ways, that's how I get it done, making sure that I can help women make that transformation so they don't spend all their time, especially these high achieving, independent women that are doing the thing, making sure that they are not spending too much time overthinking and self-sabotaging and talking themselves out of a good thing when it happens for them. So thank you for having me on tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you guys, welcome. And look, if you, Kara, tell them how they can follow you on TikTok. So maybe we've got some TikTok folks here. They're checking in here. So
Absolutely.
tell them how they can reach you over there.
Can you put our names up again?
Oh, did it come down? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm saying hello to Bella. Bella's checking in. Hello, Bella.
yes, I'm the Fab Kara everywhere on social. So I'm the Fab Kara on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Pinterest, on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you are, I am too. My website is thefabkara.com. I'm making it easy for you.
Okay, Kara. Okay.
How about that?
We heard you. You getting it all in. You ain't got to give it all to him just yet.
You said how can the people reach you?
But you doing all right. We ain't at the end. We at the beginning.
That wasn't my ending. That was my beginning. That was my introduction.
All right. It sounds good. Sounds good. All right, you guys. So we're gonna let's just jump right off into this topic tonight. Tonight our topic is should couples move in? I got a couple of statistics and all that that we're gonna definitely present tonight. Thick Brown is in the house. What's going on, my folks over there on TikTok side? Hey Betty, thank you so much for joining us. Kara, just out of the gate, when you see this title and the idea, should you move in, given the way that things are kind of shifting in our landscape today? People are decide. Look. I put in move in together before marriage, but some people are just skipping the whole idea of marriage altogether. You know, right. and so to move in before marriage, like that's assuming that we going towards marriage. But what is your overall thought, like straight out of the gate, when somebody is talking about moving in?
I think it really depends on what your real relationship goal is. I think a lot of times women are lying to themselves and they're settling into situations and walking into situations that they really don't actually want. So, for example, if your real relationship goal is to be married, then you can't settle for living together. But if you're at a season of life and maybe you've been married before and you've already had your babies and you are at a point in your life that you just want to find companionship in somebody that you want to do life with, then moving in together might be something that you might seriously consider. But most of the women that follow me actually want to get married, and moving in together is not the way to make that happen.
Okay, good stuff. Kara, so check out this findings that I found. I found some statistics. I like to just jump out. I don't want to be a person that just kind of only spouts opinion, because I got plenty of opinion.
Absolutely.
but I like to get some statistics on what's really happening. I found this article. It says, is cohabitation still linked to greater odds of divorce? Which is, before I even get into the article, which is the thing that a lot of people say, right? Let me pull this down for just a second. A lot of people say that, like, they want to make sure that they're not going to end up divorced. One of the reasons that for the cohabitation is that, like, they want to see, does this boat have sea legs, right? Are we going to get along? How is it going to be? Because we don't want to just jump in and get divorced, get married and end up breaking up, and it not work. And so they decide, you know what, let's go ahead and see if this will work with living together. But the statistics that I found is that it shows that the longer people cohabitate, the less likely they are to get married.
Yeah, I'm aware of those statistics. That's why I said it matters what your relationship goal is. If you're trying to get married, you don't live together. But if you know for sure you do not want to get married, then living together is a completely different option.
If you know for sure. How does somebody know for sure whether they want to get married? Donna Marie said, I agree. How does somebody know?
Well, you know what? I think
for sure. You said for sure.
Well, because the example I gave was somebody who's been married before, so they know what it's like to be married. Because, see, a lot of people that have not been married before have that ticking of their biological clock, their pressure, because we just went through the toughest seasons, the holiday seasons, where you see all the friends and family that keep asking, why are you still single? When are you going to get married? Once you get a boyfriend, when are y'all going to get exclusive? Once you're exclusive, when are y'all going to get engaged? Once you get engaged, when's the wedding? Once you're married, when are you having babies? When are you buying a house? When is the next thing? There's all this pressure. But when you've already been through all those seasons, you don't have the pressure. That's why I said at the beginning, notice what I said. I was real clear. I knew exactly what I was saying. If you've already been married before and you already have babies, so you don't have the ticking of a biological clock that's informing your decisions. Because as a woman, you don't have unlimited time like a man does if you want to have biological babies.
Right.
And the same thing about getting married. If you've been married before, you don't feel that same pressure to get down the aisle. You're not getting people, once you've been married and divorced and single again like I am, people don't give you pressure about when are you getting married and, you're so whatever. How come you don't have a man? How come you don't have a husband? How come this hasn't happened for you? So that pressure is completely off. So then somebody in that kind of season in life, or maybe it's somebody who knows for sure they never want to have children. So then it's a different type of dynamic as well. Because once again, that's why I said you have to know what your real relationship goals are.
Yeah. I agree. And, once upon a time, y'all, people got married for sex. Let's be honest, right? Let me see. Betty Grant said, why go to the store and buy milk when the cow is at home? Or they used to say, why should he buy the cow when the milk is for free?
Correct.
But you know what? Let's be honest. In today's time, Kara, there's plenty of free milk.
Exactly. Whether you're married, single, whatever, don't matter.
Yeah. There's plenty of milk everywhere. Okay. And if you really think about it, it is a lot. Marriage is a lot to do just to have sex.
Yes.
I know, like, back in the days, when that was pretty much the standard in a lot of people's lives. It was like, people just waited to they was just, I just had to have her, or I just had to have him. and they got married, and they got married because they couldn't wait to have sex. And it's like, you know, I've been married and I've had sex, and sex is nice, but marriage is a lot. It's a lot of sacrifice, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of investment for everybody. To only to do it for such a almost like frivolous reason. you know
But don't forget the fact, especially because we are worldwide, both of us,
hmm
that in a lot of cultures, marriage is not about the individuals, it's about the families. It's a
that's correct.
union of the
That's correct.
families.
That's
It's
correct.
about legacy, it's
That's correct.
about money, it's about wealth, it's
hmm
about a whole bunch of other factors that come to bear. So that goes back to that pressure. So
hmm
a lot of the things in the conversation we're having, we're talking about American standards,
Yes.
American way of
Yes.
looking at life, because it's not this way around the world.
Right.
And
Right.
so,
You know
um,
what, Kara? Wait a minute. I actually meant to bring that point up even before we even started, because this issue is a cultural issue. It's a religious issue. It's a non-religious issue. Because in different sects of our society, people have different views on this topic and what it means. And like you said, marriage originally was more about building wealth, families coming together. Joe, who lives across the street, he owns the he's got the hay, he's got the barley, and John's family over here, they got the eggs, they got the chickens, and they figure, hey, we put these two families together and boom, we about to kill it out here in these in these country streets. And the families came together to build wealth, and so, which also made it much more difficult to get a divorce, because you
mhm.
because now you going to cut off the line between your uncle and your cousins and all the people on the other side. And so what do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And that's not a bygone time kind of thing. That is still the reality for most of the world, that a
Mm,
lot of marriages are family dependent. The family
mm,
decides, the
mhm,
family steps in, the family has a lot of weight. But here in America, even though we like to feel like we're independently making our own choice,
mhm.
like I said, that holiday survival, getting through Thanksgiving all the way to Valentine's with and being able to weather the storm of being asked at
Yes.
all the family functions and
Yeah.
dinners and weddings and New Year's Eve and all those
Sure.
things we just went through,
Mhm.
there's still a lot of pressure on a lot of singles about when are you going to get the next step. Like there's
Mhm.
this stair step, this progression, and
Sure.
everybody's supposed to have the same progression, and it's not true. Everybody's love journey is completely different.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
want to go back to a point that you said a little bit earlier
Mm.
about a lot of times people are thinking, if I live together first, I can
Mhm.
test this out, see if it's going to work. But the
Mhm.
reality is, when you live somebody to test it out, that is not the same thing as when you live with them because you made a covenant relationship. Because in the back of
Mm.
your mind, you know you can pack up and go.
You can
A
pack
lot
up
of
and
people
go.
that live together keep their original houses. So, like if I move in with you, I still keep my apartment just in
Mhm.
case. There's a whole bunch of just in cases. And
Yeah.
a lot of times with marriage, it's kind of like the explorers going to a new continent and they burn the bridges and they burn the boats because they're not
Mhm.
going back.
Mhm.
That's what marriage is.
Mhm.
Living together does not have that same permanence
Yeah.
of covenant of we're in this, we're going to
We
do our
all
best. It
aware.
doesn't matter where the result is over time, but at the beginning, the genesis of that, the origin story is that we were trying to do this for the rest of our lives. No backing out, no options, nothing. But living together, the whole time you're together, you never have that same sense of we're in this together. It's I'm trying this out, but do something. Act not right. I'm leaving. I'm moving. I'm
Mhm.
out of here. I'm gone. I don't have to put up with this. I can get my own place. I still have my own place.
Mhm.
That energy.
Yes. Yeah. 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 No, that's totally true. That's totally true. And like technology, all of this has shifted our perspective. Look, people still want the same thing, right? But now, like, we've got all these options and all of these different things we can, you know, I saw some cats, they flying overseas, getting a wife from the Philippines and from Brazil and all these places.
That's not new.
No,
That's
it's
not
not
new.
new. No, it's not new. The Passport Bros is been in existence for a long time, but it has now come to the ease of technology. All the old things have come to the ease of technology, and so it's all right there. But at the same time, people still want the same things, right? People often ask me, like, do men still want to get married? And I'm telling you, yes. Don't only get all your content and your thoughts about what life is from here on these internet streets. It Look, a lot of the guys that I've coached, they're not even in these streets. They got a Facebook page but they hardly ever on it. They just come on and check and see what's happening sometimes.
Exactly.
They don't have Instagram, they don't have all these things, right? But they're still looking for a good, solid woman.
Yes. True. Okay. Facts. Speak, preach, tell it again.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And so, don't get caught up in all, what's happening. And I get these questions all the time because people, they watch this stuff on internet, on YouTube, and just think this is life. And I'm telling you, there's more. There's more. So you decide. Now, look, we didn't even get to the end, Kara, but I can already plant a flag and say, you need to decide what it is that you want, right?
That's what I was saying.
Do you want? What do you actually want? Okay.
That's why I said you have to know what your real relationship goal is. Mm-hmm. Not the goal like you meet somebody and he's so smoking hot that you forget that you were trying to wait and abstain and wait to see if there's emotional and mental intimacy before physical intimacy. Or you decide like, I want to get married. And next thing you know, you're with somebody that says, I don't really want to get married. Or you say you want to have babies. And this man's like, everything you want, but he doesn't want to have babies. And you go, well, maybe he'll change his mind. No, he won't.
Yeah. Don't bet on it. Now, occasionally, a woman will have the influence in a man's mind and a man's heart to make him turn his heart and decide, yes, I do. But I wouldn't count on it. don't count on it.
He's always going to run it back and say, same thing. When a man says he doesn't want a relationship, you believe him the first time because you can get all the way into it with him. And then you're trying to put like pressure on him to commit. And he's going to say, I told you from jump, I didn't want a relationship. Yeah. Same thing goes about having babies. I know of someone that got married and the man was so adamant that they weren't going to have babies that he stopped having sex with her because he didn't trust her, that she wouldn't get off birth control. Because I'm telling you, y'all need to stop thinking about what you're planning and dreaming of and listen to what that man says. There's a lot of listening you should be doing at the very beginning that a lot of women aren't. They're talking too much instead of leaning back and listening to what the man actually says and remembering it. The man says from jump, I want a relationship. Doesn't mean it's a relationship with you, but a man that wants a relationship, did y'all hear what I said? Just because he says he wants a relationship does not mean he wants one with you. I'm just saying. But it's so much better to be with a man who wants to be a relationship because there's an opportunity if you want one also.
Fact. No, that's a fact. Let me jump on here to TikTok side and say hello to some folks. They talking a lot over here. It's quiet on the YouTube side, but they pop it over here on the TikTok side. K Bang says 35 years married was a blessing from God. I was very blessed. And she said, amen. Betty says, lay the law down from the beginning. All right, Tanika, thank you so much. Tamika, Ray, thank you so much for the follow. Yes. It's Betty said, no matter what age or culture you come from, knowing what you want in a relationship as a couple. All right, so you're talking that talk. All right, let me pull up this article that I found. The article is about cohabitation, and it's talking about really just the odds of whether it's actually going to work. All right, so I'm gonna read a little bit of this. It says that you might think the question about the link between premarital cohabitation and divorce would have been settled long ago, but researchers have been puzzled about it for decades, and the puzzling lives on. Part of why the issue draws so much interest is that the vast majority of people believe that living together before marriage should improve the odds of doing well, even though research has not supported that belief. So this is an update on that. And you would think. And so let me jump down. Rosenfeld and Rosler also showed something new in their 2018 study. Cohabitation before marriage was associated with lower risk of divorce in the first marriage, but a higher risk thereafter. So they did two studies here. Let me go back to this first study right here. In 2018, Michael Rosenfeld and Katharina published a study that contradicted this growing consensus in sociology that premarital cohabitation was no longer associated with greater odds of divorce, even though it had been associated with poor marital outcomes for decades. The explanation various scholars had given the cohabitation effect going away are based on the diffusion perspective, which suggests that cohabitation has become so common it no longer selects for those already at higher risks. All right, so cohabitation. So it was initially thought that it wasn't going to be a big deal, that it made sense to cohabitate and it wasn't going to have that big of an effect. But what they found is, I'm just going to tell you what this article essentially says. What they found is that essentially people who do end up cohabitating often don't even end up getting married, or their marriages generally don't work. They put all of that time into cohabitating, living together, sharing space, and it ends up not being what they thought. And I've known people, right, who have cohabitated in that way, and it's like you start living together, and the idea of even getting married goes out the window. Like it's almost a forgotten thing, and you find out, you get somebody like Martin Lawrence's wife. I did a story on those two folks a while ago. Martin Lawrence had his wife. They were in a relationship for it was something like, I can't remember exactly, but it was something like 12 years. And she was his girlfriend for like 12 years. And I guess she finally wanted to get married. She got married. They got married and stayed together for 2 years and got divorced. After all that time, it was actually, I want to say it was like 16 years. Yeah, that's what it was. It was 16 years. They were boyfriend and girlfriend for 16 years, living together, they cohabitated. Essentially, in most places, they'd be like, she'd have been common law wife by then. But she wanted a wedding.
No, you're only common law if they claim you, and he wasn't claiming her as his wife.
Yeah. Well, she wanted a wedding, and she wanted the whole thing. And so he gave it to her, gave her after 16 years, gave her a wedding, and they were divorced in 2 years. And after all that time. And so, Kara, my thought about that was, at some point in time, she said yes when she should have said no. She said
yes to what?
She said, yeah. You want to know what she said yes to? Well, let me bring it all the way home, right? the man came over and said, "Hey, how you doing? Um, can can I hey, I like I'm attracted to you. Can I have your number?" She said, "Yes." "Can I take you out?" She said, "Yes." "Can I take this off?" She said, "Yes." And there were a whole lot of yeses after that. Can I take you out again? Yes. Will you come and live with me? Yes. And at some so all of these yeses ended her up with still being a girlfriend after 16 years, where she way back there should have been some no's. No, no. Am I your woman? Am I your wife? How long is this going to go on? You know, but because he's a celebrity, maybe because he's got position, maybe because he provided a lifestyle that she learned to love and enjoy, she kept saying yes when she should have said no. And so she ended up in the situation that she ended up in.
Well, that comes back to some of what I had already said about you get into a situation and you settle.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or you lie to yourself and go, this is good enough. Like, I'm happy, I'm content. This is good enough for me. And then years later, you're thinking, oh no. But one of the things I think about, after you hit 10 years, 15 years with somebody, right? If she's asking for a wedding at that point, it's because she has some unrealistic expectation of what a wedding is, which is just a one-day party. Let's keep it real. It's a one-day party that people should not be spending as much money on as they do. It should be a percentage of what they can afford. And a lot of times people are going into debt. The wedding is still being paid for and the marriage is over. Right. That makes no sense to me.
Right.
And so there's these unrealistic expectations that I have this fairy tale wedding and this fairy tale expectation, when the reality is, if you have a man that's committed to you and you have all the trappings of what it was, and you never established, or you lied to yourself, or you settled and said that you would accept this, and at some point something deep inside said, no, this is not good enough, I need to say something, it's too late. It's too late to try to change up the rules of engagement when you agreed to it and you stayed with it. It would have been a completely different kind of relationship foundation if at year 1, year 2, if she didn't have a ring, she stepped. And then he could make a decision, do I want to keep this woman or do I not? Right. Year 5, she could have done the same thing. Yes. But once you're into 10 and 15, that is your relationship. Yes. He's thinking we're good. Yeah. And so he's like, okay, let me appease this woman, because he's like, I will pay for our one-day party. But it's not just the wedding ceremony, right? But there's this fairy tale expectation of what being married is, when she actually was probably doing what marriage is, which is doing life together. Right. And so when people live together, you are roommates and you can sleep together and have sex. You're basically friends with benefits who live together. Who live there. Yeah, it's a fact. That is all it is. Check out this. I got some video footage here from The Real. Fair use. I'm calling fair use on this. I just want you to hear what this would have living arrangement.
Now, according to
can you hear that, Kara?
Close to 30% of couples break up after living together for 3 years, and 14% never make it past the first year of living together. Now, some things you may want to consider before moving in is, how will you split the rent, who pays for the groceries, and what do we do with the apartment and things that we brought together if we split up.
Right. That is true.
Now, I want to say something, because I'm a numbers person. They say 30% don't make it after, 3 years, but that means 70% make it. That's a big difference.
Right. Let's not focus on the negative.
Right. Because that's all I always want to get you like. But ladies, do you think couples should wait? How long do you think couples should wait before moving in together? And should financial rules be laid out before moving in with your man? Y'all the experts.
Wait a minute, Kara. Now, this I had a thought while you were talking, and it was about people already living together. I was just gonna ask, like, how many of these folks you think got premarital counseling once you already living together? Probably not many, because he think, well, nothing's gonna change.
How many of them got cohabitation counseling, pre-cohabitation counseling? There isn't such a thing, but there should be.
Such a thing. There should be. It should be. Check it out.
I'm gonna let y'all talk this.
Okay. No, I'm gonna take a back seat with you, Lonnie, because I want to know what you ladies think. Because when I was dating Freddie, we didn't move in together.
Neither did I with Adam.
dang.
We did.
Wait, so Freddie, no, apparently that didn't work out because she married Jeezy.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know where you are, but I regret that because when we moved in together, there was a lot of things you men do that I wasn't ready for.
Stop right there. Stop right there. So Kara, this goes to what you were just saying, what you said, in that, like, people are already into the process, and then they're like, you know what? Oh, wait a minute. This is how you are. this is what we doing, and so that's what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's also because
Go ahead.
No, it's also because I'm going to stick by this Disney fairy tale expectation that everything's going to be like it was when you were dating. That what you forget is people are on their best behavior, even if you've been dating for years. But you ladies, you know how you act when you go home and you take off your wig and your lashes and you're comfortable. He's having the same reaction too, because he's like, where's the glamour puss that I pick up in the car? And you're like, who is this man that plays video games all the time and he ain't cleaned up the kitchen? So it's like the expectation that we're always going to be dressed up, looking our best, never arguing, never having conflict, never having to make it's the tiny decisions that split people up, like toothpaste, toilet paper.
Right.
Those are the real issues.
Putting the seat down.
Hello.
Right.
Never lived with a man before? I have, but it's not about another man. I haven't lived with Freddie before. So I was trying to be the good girl. I was trying to keep my kitty in its little pocket, and I was trying to be good. And I just didn't, I didn't get married. I didn't want to get tempted. So we didn't.
What you mean, the kitty in the pocket?
We're kitty cat. We didn't.
We're kitty cat.
My kitty cat.
Why were you keeping your kitty in the pocket with your husband at home?
I kept my kitty to myself. Yes, I was celibate before we got married.
Got it.
But if you live together and you go to bed,
it's very easy.
It's hard.
to.
It's hard. Okay, I'm gonna be real.
Be real.
Yeah.
You're gonna be real.
Hard because boys do things that I wasn't used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It is,
and so it's different.
It is challenging, but I wouldn't regret my decision.
So I regret it. I want to know. Today, I would tell a couple.
What
I would say,
doing?
I would say live together.
But first, I want to know, why do you regret it?
Because people are different when you live together. When you live together, and how that man is when he lets it all out, how I am when I let it all out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You just get
He
comfortable.
had not seen all those things?
Not when you live
Did
together.
you just flip up your bag?
Oh
I
Lord.
did.
So what do you think about that, Kara?
She just proved my point.
Yeah.
It's getting comfortable. But see, I also think that it's possible to get to know the real person if you're paying attention. People give clues of who they are. It's not a big secret. It's just so many of us have our rose-colored glasses on. So many of us are living a Disney soundtrack. We're not paying attention to what that man is actually saying, how he's actually expressing himself, what's important to him. When you ask questions like, for example, if you ask a man, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And he's saying, I'm hearing the sound of little feet, and you don't want to have children, it's a problem. You don't need to keep dating this person if y'all fundamentally, he wants babies and you don't.
Yeah, yeah. Kara, you know what another problem is, and the reason why you don't catch all of those things and why all of that goes over your head?
Tell me, I'm listening.
Because of sex. Listen, sex will have your mind in the clouds, and all you can do is like you in the clouds. You're especially if it's just like you like it, and you didn't even know you like it, like you like it, and your mind is blown on a daily basis when it's you looking forward to bedtime all day long. You can't wait to get home to bedtime, and there's no conversation being had. There's no talking about futures and this and backgrounds, and what runs in your family, and what mental health issues you've had. What did your grandma die of? And what, like, there's no depth of conversation happening because you are caught up in the rapture of love.
But you know what? The thing is, it's not
It's a real
just the
thing.
sex of it all, it's
No.
the science of it. Because when women have sex, and
Mhm.
men don't have this, women produce oxytocin. And that's the same chemical that makes a woman bond with her newborn baby if she's nursing it. That same chemical exchange happens when you have sex with a man. So
Yes.
you get addicted, you get connected, you bond to him. So even if you're trying to be hard, even if you're trying to like roll with it, even if you're trying to do all these things, that's why sometimes a man is like, what has happened? I told you what it was from the beginning, and now you changed up. It wasn't that she changed up. She might have really mentally been like, I'm good. But you cannot defy the science of how you were made.
You can't define chemistry.
You cannot. But the chemistry of when you have sex, a woman bonds with a man in a way that men don't bond with a woman until he spent enough time that his testosterone drops, so he's able to have a connection with the woman. But if you don't give it time for that to happen, that won't ever happen.
Right. And unfortunately, Kara, so the hinge of this for men is time.
Yes, it's pacing the relationship, ladies.
It's time.
And it's not no arbitrary 90 days, because a lot of men, when you are trying to follow that crummy advice that tells you to wait 90 days because you're thinking like a man, the problem is you're not thinking like a man. If you were thinking like a man, you would know he was probably seeing somebody else and knocking boots with her while he's waiting for your 90-day time period to come up.
Yeah. Well said. Let's watch a little bit more of this. Let's see if we can catch some more of this here.
Because you're women. You take out your pasties, you take out your bra,
Okay,
you
so
just
I'm not
let
gonna-
it all out.
He
Okay.
had not seen
I want
Too
all
much
of
info.
that before.
Like, did you guys ever have sleepovers? Like, be honest, Jeannie.
We had sleepovers, but it's not like living together. I don't care what you say. You can sleep over with each other. You can Netflix and chill, but it's nothing like living with a person.
Okay, Kara. So this is a point too, that we have to really cover too, that sometimes people who let's say you're just boyfriend and girlfriend, right? You got your place, he got his place, and he's just coming over and hanging out with you and then going home, right? There are things that people confront in those moments.
Yes.
Right? They can show you their best side. It could be so lovey-dovey, but what we know about real relationships and real marriage is that the bond happens in those small moments of nothing.
Yes.
It's not going to the arena or going out to the big restaurant or like all those big things. It's sitting down at the house when nothing's on a Sunday afternoon, when nothing's happening, and you be able to really just have conversation and talk about who each other is, you know. And I think a lot of times people skip past that. So look, even with this, the people who have cultural reasons for getting married and not living together, sometimes they even miss this. This is why the divorce rate in the church is as high. We could just say that, talk about the church. It is as high as the secular one, you know, because there sometimes is this pressure to get married to this person, and you haven't done your due diligence to know who you're actually marrying.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff with the church related stuff goes back to the same stuff I was just talking about, sex. So the whole idea is you hurry up and get married so you can have sex, but also there's no conversation about sex. Right, so that you could say sex feels good. Yeah. So if you have sex before marriage, it's going to feel good to you and it's not bad. And it doesn't, like, the sky's not going to fall in. And when you don't tell somebody that, and the truth of, if you wait and get married, it might not be good and you might not enjoy it. Right. And the thing is, it's more about what you were saying. It really is about finding someone that's in the same season of life as you. So you both want to have children, or you're both done having children, or you're both in a season of we're building careers. Season of life matters more than age, more than age, season of life. And then where you are on your love journey, because there's a lot of people that are making excuses, sabotaging, they're undermining the real possibilities for great connection because they're not actually in the right position to date. For example, if you just went through a big breakup, so it doesn't matter if it was a long-term relationship, a marriage, what have you, you are undateable. Now, there's a lot of advice saying the best way to get over somebody is to get underneath or on top of somebody else, but that's a lie from the pit of hell, designed to steal, kill, and destroy our love dating relationships, because the reality is you need time to heal. And if you were in a relationship for a long time, once again, whether you were dating them for a long time or you were married for a long time, the reality is you still need to find out who you are. You need to process and heal from whatever that situation was, even if it was amicable, even if y'all were just friends at the end, even if there was no big blow up or anything, still the fact that you are now single again and you've got to figure out who you are without your partner, who you are in this new season that you've emerged out of, and then make really wise decisions of, when I go back to date, you need to actually learn. There is strategy to dating like there is for everything else. There is strategy to being married. There is strategy about being in a relationship. But the best part about it that we both hinted out, and I wanted to say explicitly, is communication. It is learning communication styles is way more important than worrying about the next trick or flip or thing you're going to do in the bedroom. It's more important than worrying about what your wedding venue and your dress is going to look like. Being able to have a conversation about everything and anything, and learning about the timing of having a conversation. Those are the things you should be putting more energy into, because that's going to determine the effectiveness and also the length and the happiness of the relationship that you do develop with someone.
Yeah. Listen, I don't, and that was well said, Kara. I don't want to even make this sound as if it's something easy, like because this is a real topic, and I don't hear a lot of people having this conversation, which is why I'm having the conversation. Right? Because I don't hear a lot of people having this conversation because people believe different things, but at the end of it, you want something that's strong. You want something that's happy. Everybody wants happiness, right? But we have to do what's going to bring us the happiness. You got to walk in that happiness direction. And people often ask me the question when I'm having these one-on-one sessions. They'll ask, like, how do I know if this guy is actually serious about me? Right? They want to know, how do I know? How do I know? How do guys even decide who they're going to marry in the first place? Right? And because of your technical woman mind, all right, it seems very complicated. because y'all, y'all got that.
Overthink. We overthink.
Right?
Hi. That's one of the things I help women with. Stop
Yeah.
overthinking.
Look, but it's very simple though. Men decide to marry when they're in the right space of time in their life.
That's what I was talking about. Season.
See, in the right season of their life. Key Bang said, "Tell us, Kelvin." I got you. Look, when they're in the right season of their life, they choose the woman who's in that season.
Hello.
Okay.
And so that's why you can't get bent out of shape when y'all break up and he gets with the next woman and gives her everything that you never got when you were together for 10 years. And then he hops up and has the audacity to marry the next chick in 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years.
Right. Because it was just the season. So the thing is, you can do your detective work through conversation to find out what season the guy is in before you burn up 3 years with him and then he move on to the girl down the street. And
But Kelvin, once again, I have to stop you there because, I told you, you give this advice and then I'm going to interpret how women hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So they heard you just say, you're supposed to ask some man. So what is it? What is this? What are we?
No.
That's what you said.
No. I said, do your detective work, do your due diligence, right? And you can detect if a man is taking you seriously or not, right? You can, if you pay attention and you have good conversation with a man, you can hear. You're listening. Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna tell you what you're listening for. You're listening. Y'all come in close. I'm gonna tell you what y'all listening for. You're listening for futuristic language. You're listening for futuristic language. You're listening for we can go and do this. Us together. And he's talking about things in the future. Listen to this. Listen to me when I'm telling y'all this. If a man is not talking to you about the future, you are probably not in it. If a man is not using futuristic language with you, you are probably not in the future. Saying talking about what the plans are. Okay, so we often talk about a man. His role is to provide and protect. Right, that provision is which is going before with a vision of where we're going. Okay, if you don't hear any of that, that provision is not for you. So if after a while you don't hear this conversation, you don't know. You don't have to go to a man and say, "Hey, are you gonna marry me or what?" No, you don't have to do that.
Wait,
do you see me?
I'm
sir,
sorry. Wait,
do you see me in your future? No, you don't have to say any of that. You just listen for the future. And if you don't hear the future and you in it, guess what? It's not going anywhere. Aura said she said that's smart.
I'm gonna say it again because I get so much pushback every time I do a video talking about that you do not ask the man the questions, what are we, where is this going? Who am I to you? All the things, because Kelvin just broke it down again, but a lot of times the ladies don't hear it. They want to know. So they think, let me just cut to the chase so I can find out what it is. I'm gonna ask him right now. Do you want a relationship? Do you want to get married? And like I said a few minutes ago, just because he wants a relationship does not mean he wants a relationship with you. Just because he wants to get married does not mean he wants to get married to you. So stop asking.
Yes. And not to mention, if you got to ask, but you know what? But part of this, Kara, I can grab a piece of that. Part of this, you can ask if a man wants to get married in the beginning. Guess what? You shouldn't get all the way 3-4 years down the road and be wondering if a man wants to get married. You can find that out before you go out on the first date. Conversation on the phone. Hey, so what is the future? What does the future look like for you when it comes to relationships? Did I ask him if he wants to get married?
Nope.
I did not ask him if he wants to get married.
Because you don't give him a leading question. You don't give him the playbook to your
No,
heart. When you're worried about shapeshifters and chameleons, a lot of y'all are telling them exactly what to say so they can get your panties. And if y'all would just be quiet and actually ask broader questions like, what does the future have for you in relationships, where you don't give them any clues. And then when they ask you, what are you looking for? I'll recognize it when I see it. It's a vibe and it's a connection. Yes. I'm not giving no clues.
Exactly.
I'm observing.
Exactly.
And if a man's coming for you, if he's pursuing you, he will make it known. You know how I know? Because a lot of women are like, I don't know what it feels like, or how do I know? And how do I know it's serious? Think about Urkel. That whole time he was pursuing old girl, she wasn't feeling it. You have an Urkel in your life. You have somebody that you left on red. There is somebody that's been pursuing you for a minute since high school, whatever it is, that you were not feeling at all, and they didn't have no shame in their game. They brought you flowers. They would stand outside. They would send you notes. They would call you persistently. They would ask you out no matter how many times you said no. That's pursuit. And a man that's into you is going to do the same thing. He is going to pursue you. It will be crystal clear.
Kara, check out this comment from Aya Williams on TikTok. She said, listen to this. She said, I asked my husband to marry me, and we've been married for 18 years and have 2 girls. Yes, from the beginning, I told him I am looking for a long-term and married, no time for games. Okay. Well, you know what? Bravo to her. That worked for her. That is not a strategy I would suggest.
I would not either. And no, I hear my heart on this. But a lot, like I said before, most of the women that follow me are wanting more of a traditional relationship with more traditional roles. And one of the things that all of us have is masculine and feminine energy. And the person that pursues typically has more masculine energy, and the person who doesn't, more feminine. Doesn't mean they're feminine, just more feminine energy. There are some men that they just go with the flow. They don't mind if you're taking the reins and you're driving the bus, they'll get on the bus with you. And if that's the direction they want to go, they'll go along for the ride. But most women want a man that's the one that's making the decision, that's choosing them, that's deciding on the future. And if that's the case, you would not ask him to marry you.
And the reason is because if you started that way, it's going to end that way. And you'll always be asking him to do stuff and asking, and will you take me to dinner? Will you buy me a coat? Will you, how come you don't? This guy, he what I want a masculine man. I want a high value man. He's just not enough man for me. And it's like, well, what do you expect when you took the charge and drove the bus and he
but
just
I
got on
am telling you, that same man that you think is too weak and too passive, y'all break up, watch him work. When he sees a woman he wants, he's going to pursue her. He's going to do all the things he wouldn't do for you. Because when they are feeling a woman, they will do those things.
She said, actually, it depends. I'm not asking him all the time. It depends how you want him to treat you. Okay. That's wonderful. Aya Williams. That's wonderful. I hope it all works out for you just fine.
Absolutely. And what I'm saying is, there are some, because I know of another relationship coach, he talked about his parents, and he said his mom was the more dominant, had a lot more masculine energy than his dad. His dad was more quiet, reserved, and passive. Once again, it's a matching of energies, and you have to be honest about who you are and what you want. You can't have a disconnect, though. So if you want to bring that energy, you have to accept that you are never going to get that energy back, because what you're attracting is the opposite. Yin, yang, opposites attract. But if you want that energy, you can't present that energy.
Yeah. Let me check out what Sabrina said. She said, all true. Initially, I asked and he hesitated. Eventually, he approached me with exclusivity. What say you, Kara?
I'm sorry. I heard initially I asked and I stopped listening. When he hesitated, that was your answer.
But eventually,
Because no,
but wait a
eventually,
minute.
eventually means I nagged, I cajoled, I prodded, I suggested, I hinted, I reminded, and then he said, "Damn, okay, whatever." I get it.
Okay, but wait a minute. Now I'm gonna come to the brother's aid, right?
Please.
Sometimes I'll be perfectly honest with y'all. Sometimes a guy is just not paying attention, right? You want him to be on the mark, and you want him to be A1 with a plan and a strategy and a go, right? And I'm telling you, these men are so distracted. There's so many distractions. Look, the algorithm now knows everything about you and will put everything in front of your face. If you like video games, they're going to show you all the video games. And there's so many things. There's Tinder, look, people can barely even so I got clients, right? They'll get on Tinder and they can barely even zero in on somebody because there's so many choices. There's so many people. Like you talk to this, they talk about you're talking to somebody online, y'all were having a good conversation for 2 days and then nothing. The person just fall off. And you're like, wait, what happened? They got distracted, they moved on to the next person. So this right here actually could be a thing where people get it and he initially hesitated, like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to necessarily be in a relationship with maybe with you or maybe not with you. But then he maybe gets to know her a little more and like, hey, wait a minute, this is somebody that I want to have something with. And so he approached her with exclusivity.
Let's check back in a couple months, couple years. I'm telling you, the words don't lie. Initially, I asked and he hesitated.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he approached me with exclusivity. There's truth in those words that we cannot ignore. It's her truth, her words. It's one of the things that I provide my clients one-on-one. I can zero in, laser in, and it's from the words. I mirror back the words and we get to the root of the cause. I promise you, if I had a conversation with her, that's what would happen.
Okay. She said when he was ready to decide, that's when he
was ready to decide. Yeah. But I'm saying, I did mean he came back. Absolutely. And see, that's what I'm saying is like, the thing was, the reason why you asked is because you didn't feel the energy. Because if he was giving you the energy, you would have never asked in the first place. You already knew the answer, or you would have never asked him. You asked him because you wanted a different result than what you were actually feeling intuitively.
Well, look, you're not going to beat up on my Sabrina.
I'm not beating up on her. I'm telling her the truth. That's not beat up. She's in a relationship. She got the man.
It worked. It worked out for her. It worked out for her, Carol.
But I'm just saying that the truth of the matter is, because a lot of times when people are listening to things and listening to advice, they grab on to the advice that they want to hear instead of the relationship advice they need to hear.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Miss Sweet 59 said, that's exactly what happened with my ex. He is working 2 jobs now with the lady he is with. She said, I had to work too when we were together. So, ta-da! So yeah, it worked. It's true. It's true.
What I'm saying is, ladies, remember what I said at the beginning. If you were here at the beginning, I said everybody's love journey is different. There is no global answer for everybody. So we're not saying that, oh, your particular situation can't happen or is wrong or shouldn't happen because everybody's love journey is different. But we are going to tell you, if you want to know the broad strokes and what happens for most people's situations, given you want a traditional man that protects and provides, who's coming with the masculine energy, who's going to pursue you, protect, do all those things. That's what we're giving the advice for. If you want something different, if you're wired differently, great. But what I'm finding is a lot of women are doing these things because they're fed up and they're tired. They want to move it along. They're impatient. Their biological clock is ticking. They're trying to make things happen. They're trying to use the same skills that work for them at work in their personal relationships, and it don't work like that.
All right, you guys. So look, we got some space and time now. If y'all want to come on up, I will invite some folks up. I'm gonna hit the TikTok thing and invite some folks up. If y'all want to come up and have a conversation, you want to express yourself on this topic. We asking the question: should you move in? Is that our topic? And if you want to come on up, I'll bring you up, and we'll have the talkie talk. So I'll have to adjust it on the TikTok side so we can all hear you. But this is your shot. This is your chance. If y'all have a question or a comment, you want to bring it up, you want to come on up on stage. We're still doing up on stage. You want to come up on stage? I'm gonna drop the link in the chat right now.
I love that Clubhouse lingo.
Yeah. We had our own language over there. I go back sometime now and I hear them saying the things that didn't exist before we came on, and it's really funny to hear. But here we go. I just dropped the link, you guys. If y'all want to come on up, click the link that's in the section there. All right, we got somebody. Aya is here. Let me see. All right, can you hear me? Sometimes that thing gives feedback, so all right, how about that? All right. Kara, can you hear?
Yes, I can.
All right, perfect. Well, welcome to the show. All right. What's your comment for tonight?
I totally understand her point. I understand her point, but my thing is, I don't know, but my thing is, I don't like, when I don't like, it's not, my thing is, I don't like really like wait too much time, like wait time, like some of them they wait maybe 1 year, 2 years. I don't like that. Now, when we both see the connection, and in my list, I see the man you're looking for, the man I'm looking for, and also he had the same list also. So I said, so when you see the connection, you feel it. You both feel it. So me, I don't like the way. I said, if you are interested, if you really, if you are interested, and this is what you're looking, you know what you're looking for, and there's no, regret. Then I said, why not? I said, come and meet my parents and this and that, and we get married.
Well, let me stop you right there, Kara. What's your thoughts about what she said?
Okay, did it work and you're married? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Did it work for you? And you got married, correct? Aya?
Yes. I'm from Philippines, and we meet in Dubai. My husband will meet in Dubai, and we meet in Dubai, and he came back here in the US, and we keep communicating, and and he's actually planning to see me and this and that. So it's just a plan. It's just he's planning and this and that. But on that time, he's really busy and stuff like that. And actually, I was just joking. I said, I was just joking because I want to see how serious he is. I said, if you're really interested and stuff like that, and if you don't marry me like after 2 months, stuff like that, then I'll move on because I don't want to play games.
And he married you?
Huh?
And he went for it?
Did he marry you in 2 months?
Yes, he did. Actually, he leave his work, and because on that time that was around Christmas, and he cannot leave because he has a high responsibility with his job, and he did leave and come, and he told me that you need to. I already have tickets, stuff like that. But actually, I'm just testing him. I was just testing him. If he would do it, how
You were just testing him to see how serious he was, and he showed you that he was serious.
He is.
Yeah.
He put a ticket and he said, "We'll meet your parents," stuff like that. So
Okay.
I think it depends. I think it depends because I would not ask him if I did not see the man that I'm looking for, and I did not also see in his side, because I would not marry someone that I am the only one. I don't like to do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
All right.
But I want to make sure that he is more into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Aya. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you coming on up, and
Thank you.
I'm gonna get Kara's thought about what you had to say as we let you go tonight. Thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you.
Kara, what do you think about that?
I think there's some details that I missed out on.
There's some
But
details.
yeah, there's some details in terms of the timeline and what have you.
Right.
But it sounds like, see, here's the thing, that if you remember, I said I don't think a timeline is a set like 30 days, 90 days, what have you. It is the connection. Some people actually meet and connect, have an incredible vibe, and have some really great conversations. You got to think about it. Some people only talk or go on a date once a week, and maybe they're so busy they're barely talking. Other people are wearing themselves out, having hours and hours of conversation, and then there's everything in between. So sometimes you're making that bond and you're making that connection, and it seems like it's a shortened time frame, but you're actually talking about things that are important, that matter. You're having great conversation. That kind of speeds up the timeline a little bit, as opposed to somebody who's going with the flow. Y'all are just hanging out. Y'all are kicking it. You're taking your time. You're not talking about nothing, but you're enjoying each other's company. You might not ever get to that stage where you actually have a conversation about that. But the fact that you could even say it teasingly, but I would say that even though you said you were just trying to test him, I think you meant it, or you wouldn't have said it.
Right.
And
she really meant it, and because he was like, it was one of those. I was just joking, unless you're gonna do it.
Yeah. And so I think sometimes we do that when we are trying to be vulnerable and we're trying to throw things out. We say it's a joke or it was just a little test, but I think she actually meant it because she was feeling the vibe and the connection, and he felt it too.
And he felt it too. Sabrina, I want to bring you up, but it says your microphone or camera is not connected. So it won't allow me to bring you up until your microphone and your camera is connected, or whatever that means for you. But yeah, I'll be glad to have you come up. But Kara, yeah, this stuff is this we act like this is all no big deal, but nobody actually has a perfect roadmap to any of this stuff, or we'd all be as perfectly happy, and because you can't judge necessarily what other people are going to do or all of that, but the one thing you can do is know what you want.
Absolutely.
And, just like this our guest that came up, and she knew flat out. She said, look, I don't want to be with somebody who's going to waste my time. Okay. She sent a message, I'm not presentable. Okay.
That was a question.
Okay.
So I said, check your settings.
Yeah, because it just says the mic and the camera has to be connected. There's something in that's not connected. But yeah, so what I like that the lady knew what she wanted, and like it was a little bit of a trickery backdoor job. But guess what? Sometimes a man needs to be challenged. So look, I don't recommend it all the time, but sometimes a man needs to be a little. He could be challenged. Needs to be a little push, a little. You talking trash? Let's see if you're really about what you say, and it worked. It worked this time. So that's all good. So Kara, so how about if we have some folks here who are thinking about moving in, maybe if you've got a couple of pointers of things to consider, a couple of things to consider before, if they're deciding that yes, this is what we're going to do. We're two consenting adults. We're going to make a decision, and this is what we're going to do. What kind of advice could you give them to have some symbol of success?
Well, for sure, the first thing is really knowing what you actually want and making sure that y'all are in the same season of life. Like if you're both wanting to have children or you're both not wanting to have children, you have to be compatible in that way. So compatibility on season of life, not do y'all both like burgers and fries. That's not the compatibility. That doesn't matter. Okay. And so another one that's really important is communication. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. If you can't communicate, because a lot of us, we're doing our best to put on our best face. We don't bring up things that are on our mind. Maybe we're putting our best foot forward. We're not letting them see their messy side. And I'm not talking about mess around the house, but the messy edges of who we are as individuals. All of us have that. And so if you're not able to have real communication, it's not easy for you. You find yourself hiding, holding back. You need to work on your communication skills before you move in, because it's going to be the little everyday things that are going to cause irritation and discontent. And it's going to cause little baby arguments over little things when it's easy to solve. Things like toothpaste, and you get frustrated with the toothpaste. Some people fixate on that and they don't let it go. Right. Whereas I've already advised my son, who's 15, I'm like, if that ever happens, get 2 tubes of toothpaste. Don't share them. Right. It's the same thing. It's like there are easy solutions. Get a double roll of toilet paper. So y'all, if you're an over person, they're an under person. I got lots of strategies on how to get over some of the things that are tiny irritations that mount up. And then you explode, and it's about the toilet paper and the tissue, and you think it's disrespectful, and you got triggered because somebody in your past did whatever. And it's about the communication style, the timing. Are you a morning person? Are they a night person? Do they accommodate for each one? Or do you have a partner that expects you to wait up and eat dinner with them when they come in at 1 o'clock in the morning, even though you got a 6 a.m. shift? There are some people like that. And you need to know those things before you move in. What are those unwritten, unmet, undiscussed expectations that somebody has for their partner that don't come up when you're dating, but they have for living arrangements? And then the other thing you also need to think about is this person going to be your roommate, or are you there for romance? Because a lot of times, especially in this economy, some people are living together for convenience. They're doing it because it's cheaper or less expensive to combine our assets. But if you're doing it because you see him as a future husband and he's doing it because gas is expensive, y'all have a disconnect. And y'all need to have another important conversation. So I would say those are the main things to get you going, because they're not quick, easy things. They are things that take time, and it's a skill set that you develop over the course of your lifetime. It's not something you rush, listen to a couple things. Every season that you go through, every situation, every life change, what happens when they break their foot? What happens when their flight gets canceled and they're stuck somewhere else? Do they get exasperated? Are they easygoing? You need to know those things about that individual, that person. Do they secretly resent your friends or your family? And the interference of your friends and family can have y'all could be on the same page, but your parents are expecting to come in town anytime they want to because they were
Right.
used to doing it with you. And you
Mhm.
say, sure, come on. And your partner's like, you should have discussed it with me. And you're like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? You love my parents.
Yeah.
Communication, expectations,
Yes.
romance, roommates.
Listen, all of that, and something that I was thinking of when you was talking about this. You know, sometimes these things, if you, I listen, I know married people who haven't worked that stuff out that you just described, and they already been married, right? Some of that stuff I've struggled with, right? So here's something that I can pass on to you. She Lacey, they want to know what's her at again? What's her at again?
The Fab Cara.
The Fab Cara. Yeah, look, we got to do this again on TikTok so they can know who they can follow you over there.
Yes.
But listen, I know people who have not had this stuff worked out, and so what I've discovered after doing these sessions with men for many years is that often men under communicate and think that their communication is enough. Sometimes women over communicate and under listen. They over talk and under listen, and men under talk and they're just listening, right? And so that's where the disconnect happens, right? So I'm encouraging the guys, look, say it, right? If there's going to be some kind of a change, say it. If there's some kind of thing that you desire, say it. If there, because listen, Kara, one of the things we grew up with was happy wife, happy life.
Trash.
Which meant it doesn't matter what I think and feel as long as she's happy.
Trash.
Then that means she's not going to cause what they really saying, she's not going to cause a problem for me if she's happy. So I'll do whatever it takes to make her happy while I just deal with this, unhappiness, because it's unmanly to say you're unhappy.
Yeah, but they don't say it, but they go get that unneed met filled somewhere else.
Somewhere else. In a bottle or a body.
Yep.
One or the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I mention something else I forgot to mention earlier?
Sure.
Whether it's cohabitation, living together, or getting married, conflict resolution is huge, and it's right in hand with communication.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember the specific detail of the statistic, but I think it's one of the ones that kind of blows people's mind, that 80% of the things that couples fight about never gets resolved. And so a lot of people are expecting everything to be resolved like a Lifetime movie. So in 2 hours, no matter what happened, everything gets resolved in a nice little bow at the end of the movie.
Sure.
That's not how married life or cohabitation life is going to be. 80% of the things that you disagree or argue about never get resolved. So you have to decide, am I okay with all that gray, or the things that don't get resolved, and we put them to the side because we either need to talk about it, we need more information, we need to table a conversation because we need more money, we can't talk about it right now because you don't feel well, or our parents are coming, or what have you. Everything doesn't get resolved. And how are you with that dis-ease? Because that's the reality of relationships. 80% of the things that you have conflict with. So that's why you can't go into these arguments or these conversations that have conflict in them and think you're going to win, because 80% of them are unresolved. No winner, no loser.
Nope.
You just keep going.
Right.
And so you have to decide, am I picking the relationship, or do I want to be right?
Yes. Do I want, so what it really comes down to is, do I want to be right, or do I want to have peace? And sometimes we will choose peace when we really need to just be articulate about what we want.
Yes.
Specifically for men are notorious for, because we want peace, and sometimes we'll be quiet. We'll not state what it is that we really want, really would like to see happen, because we want peace. Because
you know what's
because we thinking, if I say this, then she's gonna say that, and I'm gonna have to say this, and then we're gonna spend the whole rest of the night in this argument.
But Kelvin, the same thing could be said for women, that there's a lot that they're holding back and not saying.
That's a fact.
Because they don't want to cause problems.
Yeah.
They don't want them to break up. They don't want them to get angry. They don't want them to leave them. So when we come back to communication and conflict, those are the key areas that if you can figure out how to move through those situations, how to find the right timing to have the conversation. Please don't use the words "we need to talk" ever if you actually want to be in a relationship.
No. We're going the opposite way. When we hear "we need to talk," we're like, "Oh crap,
what now?
Oh.
What's she gonna bring up?" You never say. Same thing. I have can I ask you a question? Don't ask that. Just ask your question. That was your question.
Can I ask you a question?
You see what I'm saying? Because you're trying to put out feelers instead of just being real. Because if you're asking, can I ask you a question, then it's probably not the right timing. And you know that intuitively, or you wouldn't ask. I'm telling y'all, a lot of the things you're asking for permission to do something you know the timing's not right, or they're not ready to receive it. Ladies, we can't dump on our men when they first come home. Most men are very linear, and they need to do that transition from one thing to the other, where most women were wired differently. We access both sides of our brain. Men do not. They have to do a hard switch from right to left brain. So we're able to manage the chaos of a whole bunch of different things, whatever it may be, whether it's household, whether it's work, community, volunteer. Most men are not. There are things you have to learn and understand about men, which is one of the things that I have as a series all the time on TikTok. There's things you have to understand about men. There's things you have to understand about the science of attraction and chemistry and relationships. There's things you have to understand about yourself. There's things you have to understand about communication. That's why I'm a woman on a mission to give women strategies and tips to help them reach their love goals. But what is your love goal? You can't be afraid to say what it actually is.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. We are multitasking women. Yes, you are. And sometimes y'all all over the place too. Sometimes you multitasking, and they call it really task switching. You know?
But you know what? No, but we're actually wired differently. But I think what you said was really important. It's one of those differences between men and women that's so important. So a woman might be all over and overwhelmed by all that needs to be done. And sometimes having the presence of a man who is linear, who's logical, who's like, babe, focus. Babe, let me give you a hug. And it settles your parasympathetic nervous system. So you can calm down and you relax and you ease into his warm embrace, and you feel that calm and that peace. A lot of times that's all you need to reset and go, yes, babe. And you set it aside and you come back to it with renewed energy and grace, and you're able to do that. That's what's so beautiful about the differences between men and women. Stop trying to make your man be like you. Appreciate how he's different. That's a beautiful tool that he gave you. And I'm talking about God gave us, that men are different than us because they can come into those situations and bring us some calm, give us some structure, give us some grounding, because they do think and feel and move differently than we do. And just like we add softness to their reality, and we bring a different energy, and we bring don't even get me started. I love relationships. I love men and women. I love that we have an opportunity to make things better, but you have to be willing to learn the strategies and tips. You have to be open to doing things differently. You have to make a decision that you are not going to let this year end up like the last year, and you're going to reach your love goals for 2023.
Yes. It's a fact. All right, y'all. Well, look, we at the top of the hour. Kara, tell the folks how they can find you. Tell them what you got. You've been piping on this thing, but this is just how she is, and I'm glad to be connected to that energy. So tell the folks how they can reach out to you, how they can connect with you, how they can book a session, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. I am the Fab Kara, the absolutely fabulous, anointed, and charismatic Kara Adams. And I am the Fab Kara everywhere I am online. So that is TikTok, Instagram, where you can hang out and DM me and see the conversations, vote in the polls. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Pinterest. I'm on Facebook. My website, thefabkara.com. Can't make it any easier. You can see all the things that I'm up to. You want to join my email list as well. But more importantly, in a couple weeks, February the 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I'm hosting a free webinar on Zoom, so you have to sign up for it. 3 dating flags you cannot ignore. And I want to make sure you're a part of it. So please find me, thefabkara or thefabkara.com. Join my mailing list so you can get all the details for when it drops. But you can mark your calendars right now, February the 5th, 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. You guys know, y'all can follow me everywhere. You can find all my stuff on lovecoachatlanta.com, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Kara, Betty says, where is the seminar?
It's going to be on Zoom. So if you go to The Fab Kara on your favorite platform and click the link to get on my email list, you will get the information first.
Nice. As well, you guys, I got something for our folks who are local. I've got a meetup group called Social Scene ATL. If you live in the Atlanta area and you're tired of sitting at home, hoping that something good happens, and you want to get out and meet some people, come join my meetup group. You can find it on my website, lovecoachatlanta.com. It's there. I got classes going. I got one-on-ones. You need a one-on-one coaching session. Look, your best efforts have gotten you exactly where you are right now. If you want something different, you got to do something different. And let me tell you about the secrets of the mind of a man. It's my specialty. I talk about how men think when it comes to dating, relationships, and love. By the way, the book is coming. Good Lord. It's been hard to get this book birthed, but it's coming out and it's on its way. Secrets of the Mind of a Man, where I get in depth. All these little secrets that I'll tell y'all in here, and a lot of those are in this book. And I got to push another book out after that one because I couldn't put everything in one book.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love it. I can't wait.
Yes, we're doing it out here in these streets. And somebody mentioned the birthday bash. Yes, Kelvin, when is your birthday bash? My birthday bash is February 4th. If you want to get on my secret list, you want to get on my list, you can shoot me an email to lovecoachatlanta@gmail.com, and I will send you the private link to be on my guest list. But you got to come ready, come ready, have a great time, and I'd be glad to meet you there.
Yes. So we can celebrate you in person in real life.
Yes. Kara, did I forget anything?
I don't think so. I think you wrapped it up very nicely, sir. We need to do this again. You should have me as a regular.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that as we speak. You guys, thank y'all so much for being here. We appreciate you. Till next time, peace and love.